Alright, I told you fellas I ordered a special bullet mold. I couldn't make up my mind on what I wanted to get. So what I did is I custom ordered a mold that had 4 different types of bullets in it. 4 cap and ball revolvers. My intent was to try out the bullets, see which one I liked, then order a mold with like 4 or 5 cavities. Okay. Well, let me show you what I got. We'll go through it, and maybe there's something in here for you guys that you might like. But I'm already seeing after today's first run that I'm running into some problems. Well, let's go over the 4 bullets that I have. Okay, here are the 4 bullets that I chose. This one and this one are 44 caliber. This is a 36 caliber, and this is a 31. Now, the 44s look almost similar, except this one is longer, weighs a bit more, and I believe has a 455 diameter on the bands, and it's pretty straight. This one is tapered. This has a 455 up here and a slightly smaller tapered band here, and a little bit different heel, which I believe I got this one more for the Pieta Remingtons. This here is 36 caliber. It is a 375, I believe, is a diameter, large grease groove, and it has a pretty good heel on it. So this bullet could probably be used to make a paper cartridge. It has a proper heel. Much like this here, which I got because of the diameter. Okay, my pistol cylinders are kind of on the large side. You have to get a little bit larger diameter. It has the large grease groove, and it has a heel for a paper cartridge. But it didn't quite work out like I thought, and I will go over each one here. But quickly, what I will do is I have a scale off to the side, and I will give you the bullet weights as we go along here. Alright, so first one, which would be this bullet here. 198.5 grains, so almost 200 grains on that bullet. The second 44 caliber bullet that's slightly shorter than that is about 193 grains, so a little bit lighter than the first bullet. Now also, let me double check the diameter on the 36 caliber, which would be that third one there. The diameter, yes, is 375 thousandths, and the bullet weight on this one is, I'd say, 130 grains is what I'm kind of getting there. And that is with somewhat soft lead alloy. Now the last one, the 31 caliber bullet, this bullet has a diameter of 327 thousandths on the body, and this bullet weighs approximately 105 grains, say, somewhere in that ballpark. And all of these bullets are designed with a very large grease groove in the middle here, which if you pan lube these, or maybe I'll heat them up like with the curves and try to dip them nose first and get some grease into the groove there, would help eliminate the problem of lubrication. So now, what did we end up with when we did all this? Well, we'll take a look at each one. This will be the long 44, I'll call it, the short 44, 36 and the 31, and we'll see how they fit in the revolvers as is without modifications or whatever, and you know what problems I've run into there. Okay, first one up will go with the 31 caliber, basically to eliminate this, speed up the video. Here we have our Colt, copy of our Colt 1849 revolver. I got this one because of the diameter of the cylinders, and this thing will not fit in here whatsoever. Okay, so whoever designed this bullet, even at an angle or anything, it's not going to go. I would have to very seriously modify this frame. See, it won't get down in there. I'd have to remove a whole bunch of material from this frame. So I guess whoever designed this was loading these into the other model without the loading ram. I may be able, well, I don't know when Air is Gone is going to have the Baby Dragoon bullets. This doesn't work this way, so unless I load the cylinders and load it back into the gun, we can't use it as is. I may have to devise a separate loading system for it. But I will have some of these cast up, because now I'm in the thing when I fire up the mold, I'm casting 4 bullets at a time, the different bullets. So I will have some of these for anyone interested in experimenting or would like to give them a shot. Send me an email and contact me. Okay? Alright, we'll go into the 44s now. Now I have my 1860 Colt. Now this gun, I did modify this frame something fierce to get the different bullets in. We'll go with the long bullet and see if I can get this in there to where it'll fit in there. So you kind of have to jostle it, and then it fits in the Colt, and there's plenty of room for me to get that long bullet in there. And this is the only 44 revolver I have that long bullet will go into. Okay, let me get it out. Alright, now I have the lighter short bullet, which if that first longer one went in, this one kind of goes in without a problem whatsoever. Okay, and that'll work in this Colt 1860 that has been modified. Alright, next I have my Rogers and Spencers. And one of the reasons I got these bullets with the round noses is because that is how these rams are set up. I more or less bought this for this in the Remington, not so much the Colt. Now we know the curve bullet fits right in there like nothing. Now the long one in this particular gun, see if I can get it to seat, but it has a difficult time getting in. In other words, I'd have to enlarge this slightly, just slightly, to get that bullet to work there. Okay? So when we go with the lighter, shorter bullet, we'll get that in there. See, the frame on this gun is relieved in that area. The way this frame is relieved down in this area there, it makes it easy with some of these conical bullets. But the pointed Colts, because the ram is rounded and you can't replace the ram with another company's ram. So now this one will go, because it's sitting a little lower, it just touches a bit. But see, it would have to be, I have to remove some material in there, and then it would clear fairly easily without a problem, which is something I can work on. But slight modification will work in this gun. Okay, next up is our Remington Pieta 1858. Our Remington 1858 made by Pieta. Now, I had to modify the frame in this area right here to get it to work with the curved bullet, which works exceptionally well in this gun. So now we're going to take the longer version of this. And as you see, I kind of cannot jostle this in there because the band, this is taller and higher. I can't even get it to go in there. You would have to remove more material, in other words, for this bullet to fit. But if I take the shorter bullet and the lighter bullet, I can kind of, also the heel is different, I can kind of rock it around in there and then get it at an angle and rotate this. And even with the ram down, it barely gets up under there, and you can position this to where if you loaded the loose powder in and that, there, now you got it. That bullet will work. Now that is also with frame modification, so if the kerr doesn't quite fit in there, this one won't. So the light bullet will work in the Pieta Remington 1858s. So I intend to try that one out in there, and probably the heavier bullet I will try in the 1860. But the 1860 is the only gun that I did an extensive modification to the frame that the other larger, heavier bullet, or the longer, heavier bullet will fit in. But I can get these into the Rogers and Spencers and the Pieta 1858s with, ease, more or less. I don't know if you would have to modify your 1858 or that to do it. I'm going to have to work on the frame just slightly to get a smooth feeding with the Rogers and Spencers. Okay, now we have a Pieta 1851 Navy. Okay, now this particular gun, the date of manufacture CL, I'm not quite sure when it is, but those of you that are savvy can go find out what year the CL stands for. Now this gun came with the frame modified. I had to modify the ram so it would accept the pointed conical bullet. Now that's why I kind of got this conical bullet here, because the way this is with the long heel and that, you can attach a paper cartridge, but the rounded kind of blunt top, you don't need to change your ram for a Colt style bullet. And this does have plenty of room to drop right in there and rotate right around without a problem. Okay, so this bullet will be excellent for an unmodified Pieta 1851 Navy if you have this frame modification like this here. Okay, and probably you can use that to make a paper cartridge. I may do that later on, make some paper cartridges with that bullet. Alright, now let's try it in our Uberti 1861 Navy. Okay, now we have our Uberti 1861 Navy. And we'll try to see where we can get this into rotation up. A little bit of a, well, I want to hold on a second. I want to see, it's not going to go with the way this is, it's not going to fit like in a paper cartridge or something out here. It has to be indexed a bit about there. That's where I want it. And let's see if we can drop that right. Yep, drops right down in, clears the frame. So if you had a paper cartridge, you'd probably have to stick it in that way, but then very unobstructed goes right into the position. So the 36 caliber one is a winner. The 31, I don't know, and the 44s are usable, but they have their issues also with it. And I guess again the whole idea is you got the big lube groove, and that is basically what I was looking for, is a lubed bullet to put in without having to put lubricant over the top of the cylinder. And I believe also with the large lube groove, it'll eliminate the need for wads, over the powder wads in the revolver. All right, so let me do closing. All right, so those are the 4 custom bullets that I had made up. And I just got wonderful news while making this video. They're going to postpone working on my house again for some weeks to come. So we may get out, get to try this 1861 and the bullets and some other stuff this week. So stay tuned. I have some more videos coming up. Hopefully I'll be getting some more range time in. All right, guys.